And this is the Avapow A68 jump starter, and on this video I'm gonna show you how it can jumpstart a vehicle as well as walk you through its features. And as always, I have placed a link in the description down below to this jump pack in case you'd like to get one for yourself. And to jumpstart a vehicle, there is a dust cover on the side of the unit, and that is where the Alligator clips are going to be plugged into. And the Alligator clips also have a protective dust cover on them. Next, I'll connect the Alligator clips to the jump starter. And now we're ready to jumpstart the vehicle. I'm going to take both of the Alligator clamps and connect them securely to the battery terminals. Let's try to jumpstart this. And what I just showed you was a normal jump start. However, this jump starter does support forced jump start mode for extreme cases where the battery may be completely dead, and that is activated with this red button. However, before I press that, the important part is to make sure that both of the Alligator clips are connected to the battery, and then I can press this button for 3 seconds, and that is going to enable the forced start mode. And you can see under that we have that green light. Let's try to jump start the vehicle. And in the process of filming, I jump-started this vehicle several times, and I want to show you what the battery level indicator looks like. It still shows us 4 lights. Now, I do wish that we had an actual percentage indicator to see on a display how much did it actually consume in those several times that I jump-started the vehicle, but I suspect that there's probably enough juice on here to do quite a bit of multiple jump starts. And as far as what type of vehicles we can jumpstart with this guy, really it comes down to the engine size of your vehicle. Avapow has rated this for all gasoline engines regardless of engine size. However, if you are driving a diesel, Avapow says that the maximum size of engine that it can start on diesel is gonna be 12 liters. Now, it is also important to remember that this is a 12-volt jump starter, which is pretty much the majority of vehicles on the road. Unless you're driving a very large industrial vehicles or industrial truck, sometimes those use a 24-volt system. So again, this is only for 12-volt vehicles. Now, there's a couple interesting things with the Alligator clips that I want to show you. The first one is how far they can open up. Now, this is something that I check for on jump starters because some battery terminals are quite large in size, so you want to be able to open these things as far as possible, and these things open up quite a bit, which should accommodate larger battery terminals. The other interesting thing is on the inside of the Alligator clip, you see that there is actually a second set of copper, and that provides for a better bite, a better connection in between the Alligator clips and the battery terminal, which should help a vehicle jumpstart easier. The Alligator clips also have several safety features such as polarity protection, meaning that if you plug this thing backwards, the Alligator clips will detect that, and also high temperature protection and several other things. Now, this module right here has that indicator that tells you the status of what the Alligator clips are doing, and for the most part on jump starter systems, I always traditionally see it like this: part of the Alligator clips separate from the main unit, but I'm starting to see more systems that integrate this module into the setup, so the Alligator clips get a little bit smaller, slimming, and they don't have this kind of attachment at the end. I also think that by integrating this portion right here into the main module, it might make it easier to plug in. And I noticed that when I try to push it in, sometimes it goes in, sometimes it doesn't. It takes some lining up and then it goes in. So integrating this large portion into the jump starter, I think should make it a little bit easier to plug in, which is normally what I see on some premium jump starters that are starting to eliminate this portion. But there are several more features on the jump starter that are worth pointing out, such as the power button on the side, because tapping that button once shows you the battery level with 4 LEDs as you saw earlier, but also tapping and holding that button down enables the flashlight. Tapping that button one more time switches it into this SOS mode. Tapping that one more time gives us the strobe mode. Tapping that one more time turns the flashlight off. The jump starter can also be used as a power bank, and this particular model has 3 different outputs for that. We get a 12-volt DC output and also 2 full-size USB ports, one of them being capable of fast charging. Also, what's pretty good is that we are able to use all 3 outputs at the same time, potentially allowing us to power 3 different devices at the same time from this power bank. And as far as accessories, they do include the automotive adapter that you saw me use, and that goes inside of that 12-volt DC output. And now I can use this to potentially put in another adapter in here to gain additional USB ports for charging, or I could use this to power any other 12-volt automotive device that uses a 12-volt socket. They also included a USB-C cable to charge the jump starter, and that is done via the USB-C port, which supports up to a maximum of 18 watts. Now, unfortunately, this Type-C port is only for in power, so it can only be used to charge the jump starter. We cannot use it to charge something else. It'd be another great addition if Avapow can make this a 2-way USB port, so we can use it both for charging the jumper pack and also for charging other devices that may need USB-C. But technically, since we have 2 full-size USB ports, we could charge USB-C devices using that same power cable that they included, since that goes from full-size USB to USB-C. And the jump starter feels relatively sturdy, and it has a built-in handle that again feels nice and heavy duty and should come in handy if you're planning to use especially that light on the front. But in addition to that carry handle, they also include this semi-rigid case, and you'll be surprised at the number of jump starters that for some reason they don't include a case. They just give me a little baggie or sometimes no case at all. So I think a case is something you definitely want to have. That way, if you carry this in your vehicle, all of the jump starter system is contained inside of it. And as far as standby time, meaning how long this unit can sit before the battery depletes and needs to be recharged again, Avapow doesn't specifically say how long that can be. However, Avapow does recommend checking this about every 3 months, and if it needs to be topped off, you can top it off. I think 3 months is a good interval, and it's normally what I do with my jump starters. In fact, I actually check them every time before I go out on a long trip, just to make sure that my battery jump starter is fully charged in case I were to need it. And if you're looking for something more compact, perhaps your engine size is even smaller, you may not need such a large unit. Avapow does have a smaller unit, which I have reviewed before on the channel. That is the A37 unit. If you guys want to see that review, I'll put a link to that in the description down below, along with a link to the A68 in case you want to check it out further or acquire one for yourself. And if you guys have any other questions regarding this jump starter, please put that in the comments down below. If you found any part of this video helpful, make sure you hit the like button to support the channel, and stay tuned as I have a lot more reviews coming up. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I'll see you on the next one.